Let me tell y'all something. Life picked the wrong one today. I woke up, stretched, touched the floor, and the universe said, "Oh, good, she's up. Let's test her." And I said, baby, Satan, not today. Not with this mood, not with this energy. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Ask a Bee. We are here again. We are here again. Sometimes we don't know why, but we are here again. Welcome back to Ask a Bee. Listen, if you made it here today, I need you to give yourself a round of applause, okay? A pat on the shoulder. Just there you go. And maybe a stiff drink, because the fact that we survived another Monday morning, it deserves national recognition as far as I'm concerned, right? Right. There is something about this particular day of the week that arrives with audacity, backed right into the sunrise. Okay. Monday doesn't knock politely, ever. Monday doesn't wait to be invited. Monday kicks the front door in, climbs on your counter, and starts rearranging your mental furniture before you've even had coffee. You know it has. So, I don't know who needs to hear this really, but the emotional stamina it takes just to exist on a Monday should count as cardio. Who's with me? Right? You wake up tired. You wake up confused. You wake up already two incidents right behind the patients. Okay. And then because the universe has jokes, somebody always decides this is the perfect day to test your spirit. Your phone rings before you're even ready. Someone tries you in traffic. Your email lights up like a Christmas tree. Sure, it's December. Why not? Something breaks, something spills, something disappears. It is always something. Right? And this is exactly why my Monday Petty Monday exists. Let's talk about this. This is not the day for enlightenment, okay? This is not the day for gentle reflections or inspirational quotes about being the bigger person. No. Today is the day where we take every petty thought we swallowed, every eye roll we held back, every moment we showed restraint that we did not feel, and we bring it right here into the open. This show is the safe space for those thoughts you couldn't say at work because, you still need your job. It's also the place where things you couldn't say to your family because you didn't feel like starting a group text war. It's also, you could have things you couldn't even admit to yourself because you were trying so hard to stay calm. And even though Calm packed her bags and moved to another city the moment Monday started talking, here we tell the truth. We talk about the nonsense. We honor the part of ourselves that said, not today, baby. Not on this day. And don't get it twisted, okay? Petty doesn't mean cruel. We're not into that. Petty means we're acknowledging the absurdity of it all, okay? Petty means we aren't sugarcoating what tried us. And boy, Mondays try me every week. I know they do others. It can't just be me, is it? Look, petty means we're reclaiming our peace by laughing at the foolishness instead of just letting it build up in our chest. Okay, guys, you need to release that mess because it's not worth it. Settle in, get comfortable, take your shoes off, get a drink if you need one, loosen the tension that you've been carrying in your jaw since 8 a.m. Because for the next hour, this is where we're going to let it all out. Okay? This is where we say exactly what we wanted to say in that moment. YouTube approved. Okay, please behave yourselves. This is where the sass is legal. I mean, y'all, the sass is legal in my house all day long. You know that's right. Yeah. But this is where the truth comes out wearing hoop earrings. Man, I should be wearing my hoops. Okay. Welcome to Monday Petty Monday, y'all. Let's get into this. Now, you know how I do. I give you a little story of my own. It softens everybody up because, I mean, come on. If I can give you a piece of me, you can give it back. It's only fair. So, since we're officially acknowledged that Monday came in here bold and barefoot and bothering everybody, let's go ahead and slide into the part of the show where the petty really starts cooking. My story. Because if there's one thing Monday is good for, right? It's providing material. And baby, this week, I should have 2 shows. Let me tell you. This week gave me a moment that had me standing there wondering if I was being punked. I mean, seriously, I'm looking for cameras and stuff. Spiritually tested or just personally targeted by the Lord himself. Please forgive me because no, I don't feel that way anymore. It was momentary, okay? I've asked for forgiveness twice now. See, every Monday, Petty Monday story starts with something so small that you think you can ignore it. At first, no. You tell yourself, it's fine, B, just breathe through it. Don't let it get to you. And then Monday shows you just how little respect it has for your inner peace by adding one more layer of foolishness, one more sprinkle of nonsense, and one more person who woke up today with absolutely no intention of minding their own business. Come on, we got neighbors, y'all. You know you do. And that's exactly how today's story begins. With something tiny, something that should have rolled right off of me, something that any well-rested, emotionally stable person might have brushed aside. But baby, I am not well-rested, and Monday has never respected my stability, ever. No, this is not a recording. Thank you for being here. So, what happened started so casually that at first, I didn't even react. I just started. I mean, I just stared at it and I blinked and I tried to process. And this is Ask a Bee Monday, Petty Monday. We just talk about different things. I have letters that come in to an email address that anybody can send emails to. And I read them here anonymously. And hopefully, most of the time, we talk about things that might give you a little peace. Like right now, my story, I'm letting out a little bit of myself so that people know that I'm human, you know, because that's hard to come by around these days online. Everything's AI. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Today is a little bit different. It's Monday, Petty Monday. You know, you just need a day to release. And that's what this is. That's what I'm doing today. So, okay, back to the story about me. And this was one of my situations. And then we'll get into 2 letters that I have. So, okay, so I guess Monday had whispered into my ear, go ahead, take it personally. And you know, I'm obedient when the universe says something that makes sense. Before I knew it, I had hit that moment when your spirit just shifts from let me be patient to, oh, absolutely not. Hi, Big Jack. Good to see you. Happy to have you. So we're not going to be the bigger person today. No, not here, not now. I should have been, but you know, I make mistakes. I'm human. So I'm going to show you my mistake and maybe we can work it out and make me human again. Here's the beautiful part, okay? The story isn't just about what happened, it's about how fast the situation went from normal to Lord, hold my earrings. It's about the buildup, it's about the disrespect, it's about Monday thinking it could get away with things it absolutely should not be attempting. So grab your drink, adjust your seat, prepare your spirit because the story I'm about to tell you, okay, it is Prime Monday, Petty Monday energy. And you're about to understand exactly why I was ready to retire from humanity by noon. 5 million in the chat and growing? I hope so. I really hope so. Oh my goodness. So, um, all right. Let's get into this story. Buckle up. Because today's Monday Penny Monday story is one of those moments where I truly believe the universe puts you in a situation just to see if you're paying attention, right? And I was paying attention. Let me put that to you right there, first and foremost, but not in the way that they had hoped. This all started when I decided to do something incredibly brave for Monday. I went to the grocery store for myself. I'm an Instacart driver. Some of y'all know that, but no, the grocery store for myself. I know. Probably not a good thing because I know what the grocery stores look like this time of year and on a Monday. I mean, if I'd have gone Sunday, it'd been 10 times worse because Sunday is not the time to go to the store. Everybody's at the store. But Monday, I'm thinking, man, everybody's back to work, right? No, it doesn't make it better. Okay, so my house was on its last leg of snacks. I got people here, right? And I was trying to be a responsible adult. That's what I do here. I should have known right there that responsibility and Monday do not mix. That's like trying to light a candle in a windstorm. I walked in, grabbed a cart, normal mood, and immediately felt the energy shift. Lord. Pardon me. I walked in, I grabbed a cart, and immediately felt the energy shift. Seriously, that moment when you realize there are too many people in the store for that hour of the day, right? That's the Monday crowd. Why? I just need to know why. That's the group of people who woke up and said, let me go disturb B's peace immediately. And the reality is they thought the same thing I did. It's Monday. Everybody's gone back to work, right? Now listen, all I wanted was bread, a loaf of bread, one single solitary loaf of bread. The universe said, absolutely not. Today we're going to test your patience in the baked goods aisle. I get to the bread section and there is a woman standing dead center like she was posing for the cover of Grocery Store Monthly. Her cart was sideways, okay? Blocking 75% of the aisle like she was defending a goal in soccer. She wasn't picking bread. She wasn't reading labels. She wasn't even breathing in a productive direction, okay? She was just there, existing in my way. So I stood there politely. Mistake number 1. I tried to give her time. Mistake number 2. I said, excuse me, please. Mistake number 3. Because do you know what she did? She looked at me, nodded, then turned her back and picked up her phone. Her phone. Not the bread she was blocking. Not the cart she was strangling the aisle with. Her phone. Okay? She started scrolling. I'm trying so hard to be light, and she scrolled like she was at home on her couch in her comfortable leggings, not standing in the middle of my pathway like a human traffic cone. Now, normally, I would be patient, okay? And I really was trying. I really was. But Monday had already been picking at my spirit like a child poking a sleeping dog. And something in me said, no, we're not doing this today. No, no. So I gently just move her cart just enough so I can slide by. Oh, baby, that was the biggest mistake. You'd think I pushed that woman off a cliff. Pardon me. She snapped her head around so fast, her earrings almost filed for workman's comp. She goes, "Excuse you?" "Excuse me? Ma'am, you've been standing still longer than my last relationship." But I stayed calm. I said, "I just needed to get to the bread." And she said, "I swear this is true." She said this. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm clearly standing here. I was quietly praying to myself, yes, that was the problem, ma'am. And here's the part where Monday took over my body and said, "Tag me in." Because something in my soul just shifted. You know, my ancestors said, "Go ahead, we support you." My petty said, "Oh, we're awake now." I leaned in just enough to make it personal, and I said, "Sweetheart, you're not standing here. You're blocking here. There's a difference." The way her jaw dropped, I felt the temperature in the bread aisle change, okay? She huffed, grabbed her cart, and rolled away with the energy of a toddler denied juice. And you would think this story ends here. But oh no. This is a Monday Petty Monday story. That would be terrible. For real, dude, go away. That's ridiculous. Okay, I finish my shopping, get to the checkout line, and guess who I end up behind? Miss Bread Isle International. And baby, she turned into a performance, a total performance, sighing loudly a couple of times, rolling her eyes, looking back at me as if I had personally ruined her day by asking her to step aside in a public store made for more than one human being. And here's where the petty finally kicked in. Don't judge me. She put her items on the belt, but left a giant gap in front of her. A theatrical, dramatic, Broadway level gap. Like she was saying, "This space is mine, peasant." Meanwhile, the cashier is waiting like, "Ma'am, the scanner is right here." She refused to move up because she did not want me anywhere near her personal bubble after our bread aisle showdown. So I did exactly what Monday Petty Monday energy told me to do. I looked at the cashier. I raised my eyebrows and loudly said, "She's saving that space for her attitude. It needs room." The cashier, yeah, he choked. A woman 3 lanes down started laughing. Someone dropped a can. Bread aisle Beyonce whipped her head around again, gave me the dirtiest look I've seen in years, and stormed right out before the cashier even finished her total. I stood there, smiling like the petty queen that I am, and I said, "Have a blessed day." The cashier said, "You too, whoever you are. I needed that." Yeah, that is how I reclaimed my power on Monday in aisle 7, armed with petty patience that had expired and a loaf of sourdough bread I absolutely earned. True story. I'm telling you. Yes, that was a good day. That was a good day. I try so hard to, my one of my bigger philosophies, I think. My bigger philosophy. I sound like a Texan right then, y'all. One of my biggest philosophies, there we go. Um, kill them with kindness. I wasn't being rude. And even though it seemed a little petty, yeah, okay. So what? I wasn't ugly to her. I didn't, pardon me, but make an ass of myself like she did. So I'd say that was a winner, right? Y'all help me out here. Is it too petty? I don't think it is. All right, all right, all right. We will get into our next little segment here, which is our Bless Your Heart letter. So now we talked or walked through, pardon me, walked through that entire grocery store showdown, which frankly felt like a full spiritual workout for me. It's time to shift gears a little, just a little, not away from the petty. No, not, don't worry. We're not leaving her behind. That's my friend today. She's buckled in, wearing lip gloss, holding a clutch. But every Monday, Petty Monday, after we wrap up my story, we move into a different kind of petty, the kind that comes dressed in Sunday clothes, but still carries a switchblade in her purse. Not really, just a joke. Because this is the part of the show where y'all send in the stories, the things that been sitting on your heart all week or all year, all decade, simmering like a pot left on low heat. And let me tell you something, okay? The letters that come in on Monday, baby, you can feel the exhaustion before you even get to the first sentence. You can tell somebody hit their limit, okay? Somebody swallowed the wrong comment. Somebody held their tongue so long they almost bit through it. And instead of cussing somebody out in the parking lot like their spirit wanted them to do, they wrote me. That's supposed to be a good thing, right? Y'all have to forgive me. All this talking I've been doing here lately, I'm losing my voice again. My husband will be so pleased. All righty, let's get back into it. I had to have me a drink of that drink. Now, okay, this is what this segment is for, not the soft, the delicate, the whisper in a circle version of Bless Your Heart. No, okay? This version of Bless Your Heart is for when someone has pushed you to the brink, tested your last nerve, invaded your peace, and you're emailing me instead of committing a misdemeanor. Okay? That's what we do here. That's what you need to do here. Because y'all don't catch a felony either, all right? This is really where we take someone's headache, someone's frustration, someone's Lord, fix it before I do kind of moments, and we shine a little light and the humor on it. Because sometimes the only thing keeping us from snapping is the ability to laugh at just how ridiculous some people can be. Okay? You know what I love about this part, though? It's honest, it's raw, it's human. And I do try my very best to read your letters the way that I've read them in my mind's eye, not yours, because, I mean, come on, I'm not you, obviously. But because I want you to understand this is how I caught that, okay? So, raw, human, people come in here and say, B, I tried. And baby, I believe you, okay? You can tell when somebody really did try to be the bigger person before they eventually reached the point where even the bigger person was like, girl, I'm clocking out. So as we slide into the Bless Your Heart letter today, I want you to stay right in that Monday Petty Money energy, okay? Don't soften yourself. Don't turn your volume down. We aren't going from spicy to plain. No. We're going from spicy to seasoned. Yeah. Because if there's one rule we follow is this part of the show is this, okay? Some people don't need a hug. Some people don't need advice. And some people don't need a quiet moment of reflection. Some people just need a good, solid, heartfelt bless your heart. Now let's get in today's letter. All righty. Dear B, I need help before I fully transform into the villain of my own story, because the level of petty sitting in my chest is starting to feel like an emotional rash. And since today is Monday, I know I can bring this to you without judgment. Here's the situation. I hate it when people put that in there. Here's the situation. I just know I'm about to step in it, right? That was very insightful. Oh, thank you very much for saying so. I appreciate that. You have to forgive me my mistakes. Maybe I didn't handle it the best way, but I sure did try. So every morning I stop at the same little coffee shop on my way to work. Same barista, same order, same seat by the window. This is my routine. My sacred ritual, the one peaceful moment I get before stepping into a job that drains me faster than my phone battery. But apparently, the universe said, let's spice things up, because now there is a woman, a stranger, a civilian, a person I have not harmed in any lifetime, who has decided that my seat is her seat. Okay, we know what the first problem is here. The first morning she sat there, I let it go. Public place, things happen. I sat somewhere else. Fine, we move on. The second morning, she was in my seat again. I didn't like it, but I told myself not to be weird about it. But B, today makes 3. 3 days in a row. This woman walked right into that coffee shop, looked at all those empty tables, and chose mine. And she didn't just sit. B, she spread out. She unpacked her laptop, her planner, 2 highlighters, a reusable water bottle the size of a toddler. She built a whole settlement, a colony, a personal kingdom on my preferred real estate. I walked in and she actually made eye contact with me like she knew. Like she felt my spirit trying to enter its rightful territory and said, "You ain't getting this back." And the barista noticed. He called out, "Your seat's taking again." And this woman smiled. She smiled like her soul lives in petty. But here is where I reached my limit. She waved at me. Waved. Like I was the visitor in her home. Something dark stirred inside me. It's a seat. I sat at another table, but I sat there watching her like a disappointed kindergarten teacher. And now I am writing this letter because I am dangerously close to showing up tomorrow at 6 a.m. and camping out in the parking lot with a folding chair, a lunchbox, and a look of determination that will shake this woman to her core. So tell me, B, am I being ridiculous? Why did you ask me that question? Or do I need to reclaim my territory before she brings a houseplant and makes it permanent? Signed, seat stolen and spirit shaken. Oh, y'all. I don't drink alcohol, but let me tell you, sometimes I just want to. When I have to answer these, and believe me, I do get to choose, but man, okay. Bless your heart. Let me just say that first and foremost. Bless your heart, baby. Bless your heart. Because the fact that you have survived 3 mornings of territorial theft without flipping a table tells me you are definitely a stronger human being than I will ever be on a Monday. True. Facts. Truly, you deserve a medal. Not a small medal either, okay? I'm talking a big Olympic energy, real hardware, something shiny that clinks when you walk, right? Because what this woman is doing, that is psychological warfare disguised as morning routine. Yeah. Let's begin here. You're not crazy. People always say, it's just a chair. And those are the people who hate or have never had something sacred stolen from them by a stranger wearing a smug little coffee shop smile. And a morning seat is not just a seat. No, it's a ritual, right? It's a sanctuary. It is a temporary escape from your chaos of your life. It is the emotional reset button, okay, that keeps you from cussing out coworkers before 10 a.m. So when this woman, this pilgrim of pettiness, walked in and colonized your sacred spot, not once, not twice, but 3 times, that wasn't coincidence. That was a challenge. Yeah, we're going to take it this way. That was a challenge. Okay. That was a spiritual duel. That was Monday energy incarnate, showing up in human form, wearing cozy cardigans and holding a venti iced latte. Like she reinvented caffeine. Right? Is this how we're supposed to go with this? Let's talk about day 3 specifically, because the wave she gave you, that wasn't a wave. That was I can't even say that word. A declaration of war, honey. War. You don't wave at someone like that unless you know what you're doing, right? She waved like the queen greeting peasants from her castle balcony, right? She waved like she was saying, "Good morning, sweetheart. I've claimed this land in the name of my new routine." She waved like she had already set up an altar, right? Hung curtains, forwarded her mail to that seat. And you sat there just watching her spread out her life like she was settling in a full weekend retreat. Laptop, planner, water bottle, emotional baggage. She brought everything but the Wi-Fi router. I bet if you stayed 5 more minutes, she would have taken off her shoes and started doing toe circles like it was Pilates. Yeah. So let me be extremely clear. You're not wrong. No, you're not in the wrong. Okay. But here's where the wisdom comes in. Because yes, you absolutely need to reclaim your territory. Okay. But you've got to do it beast style with finesse and precision and just enough petty that the message lands without you catching a charge. So, let me give you a few strategies, okay? Yeah. The early bird FAFO approach. Fork around and find out. Come on. You know I don't cuss on this here thing. Now, show up early one time. Just once. Beat her there. Sit in your seat like a royal figure reclaiming their throne. And the moment she walks in, give her that same little wave she gave you. Oh, yeah, the same smile, all that stuff, same energy, petty mirror technique. Yeah, it's passive aggressive poetry. It sure is. Or now, number 2, you can do the decoy item strategy. Bring something small, a book, a scarf, your keys. Place it on the table before you order. This signals this seat is taken by someone who cares more about their peace than you will ever understand. It is the sacred, I was the first ritual of coffee shop warfare, right? Now, the silent sit down, okay? If she's in the seat again, pull a chair right across from her and sit down without breaking eye contact. No words, no explanation, just deep, intentional chaos. She will back up and relocate out of sheer confusion. Yeah. Now, the spiritual relocation ceremony, okay, that's one of my favorites. Ask the barista with the politeness of a saint, okay, but the tone of a woman who is done. Has she adopted that seat, or can customers still sit there? Baristas love drama. They do. They will absolutely assist you. But let's walk out. Let's talk about the real heart of this, okay? Because this woman is not taking your seat because she needs it. She is taking it because she's bored and petty, and she senses a pattern she could totally take advantage of, okay, and disturb. Some people wake up seeking enlightenment. Y'all, Monday has got my tongue. Others wake up seeking oatmeal, okay? But this woman, she wakes up seeking someone else's peace. Baby, let me bless your heart properly, okay? Drink tea. You got that right, man. You are not losing this battle. You're simply being given a chance to reclaim your territory with style, okay? So tomorrow, show up a little early. Hold your cup. Walk to the table like a woman who has survived far worse than a seat thief, okay? Sit your beautiful blessed self right down in your rightful spot. If she walks in and gives you the wave again, smile back. Say good morning. I didn't see your name on the deed. And then take a sip of your coffee like the petty queen you are. You got this. Bless her little wandering heart, okay? Yeah, no, I'm sorry. You guys know that's just a joke. It's just a seat, y'all. It's just a seat. If you got to do that, find you a seat outside or at home. Go home. I don't know. Go to the park. You can't take a public chair in somebody's restaurant, y'all. Come on. Now, we've had a little funny, maybe a little inspirational. I don't know, not much for petty when it comes to inspiration, huh? But now we're going to shift over to our gravel road. That's where we always go right after having a little laugh. And that's what we've done. And we've blessed a few hearts that, desperately needed it. But now it's time to take this show where it always goes next, down the gravel road. And you already know what that means. This isn't the petty stuff anymore. Not really. This isn't somebody taking your seat or testing your patience in a grocery aisle. Gravel road is where we talk about the things that don't just annoy you, they shape you. The things that they leave a mark. The things that really stretch you and pull you and force you to grow, whether you feel like it or not. And I mean, let's be honest. Some Mondays don't just show up with petty, okay? Some Mondays show up with truth, the kind that hits right in the middle of your chest, and the kind that makes you stop laughing for a second and say, damn, that one hurt a little. That's what this segment's for. The real stuff, the deeper stuff, the things we walk around carrying quietly because the world already asks too much of us. Now, when we step onto the gravel road, we're stepping into the part of life that isn't paved smooth, the part that's uneven or dusty, uncomfortable, sometimes painful. And here's the thing. Every gravel road story is also about resilience. It's one of our biggest things here in the Iron Sharpening Iron universe. We want to celebrate your resilience. We know that you've all had a hard time, but we want to celebrate with you making it through it. And it's about how you keep going. It's a celebration about how you found strength you didn't think you had. It's also about how you survived something you didn't even realize was shaping you until years later. Don't worry, okay? Because we still bring our Monday energy with us. Just because it's deep doesn't mean it can't be honest. Just because it's real, it really doesn't mean it can't be raw. That's why this segment exists. To take off the filter, to talk about the things we usually avoid, and to let someone else's story remind us that we're not walking our own road alone, okay? Go ahead and settle back and grab a hold of your spirit for a moment. Take a breath. Let the petty rest for a second. She'll be back later. Right now, we're shifting into something real, something honest, something that might hit home for someone listening. And, it's a gravel road, but we can always get to the pavement together. Dear B, I don't even know where to start, but I guess the truth is the only way to get this out. I've been walking around with something heavy on my chest for months now, and I've gotten so good at pretending I'm fine that I think people actually believe it. Some days I almost believe it myself, but when everything quiets down at night, it hits me all over again. I'm tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. I'm writing to you because something shifted in me recently, something I can't unfeel. It's like life took a turn I wasn't ready for, and somehow everyone else kept moving while I'm still standing in the same spot, trying to understand what happened. I lost someone who meant a lot to me, not to death, but to distance, to decisions, to things I can't change. And the way it ended, the way things fell apart, it left me wondering if I meant as much to them as they meant to me. Gosh, I'm so sorry. We didn't have some big blow up. There wasn't a final screaming match or a dramatic goodbye. It was quieter than that, softer. It was like watching someone slowly fade out of a photo you're still trying to keep in focus. One day they were checking on me, laughing with me, sharing pieces of their life with me. And then little by little, the messages stopped, the visits stopped, the invitations stopped. I kept trying to reach out, trying to keep things alive, but you can always feel when someone is only giving you the crumbs. And I kept taking those crumbs because I didn't want to accept that the whole loaf was gone. I think that hurts most, or what hurts most isn't that they left, it's I stayed. I stayed hopeful. I stayed loyal. I stayed believing that maybe it was just a phase or stress or timing or something fixable. I kept giving the benefit of the doubt long after the doubt should have won. And now I'm here sitting with this ache I don't know how to name. This grief, or it's grief, but the kind nobody talks about, the kind that makes you feel foolish for hurting because the person is still alive, but living a life that doesn't include you anymore. Everything around me says just move on. Like it's that simple. Like you can just unlove someone or uncare about someone because they stopped caring back. But I can't do that yet. There are days I feel strong, days I convince myself I'm okay, and then there are days where something small, a song, a smell, a memory knocks the wind out of me, and I'm right back where I started, staring at the empty space where they used to be. I don't know what I need from you, B. I guess I just needed to say it out loud, somewhere safe, somewhere I won't be told to get over it. No, that's not here, honey. Oh, somewhere my pain doesn't feel dramatic or pathetic or inconvenient. I'm trying to figure out how to let go of someone who let go of me long before I realized it. Signed, still standing in the empty space. You guys, I had to take a minute after I read this one to read it again because that it hurts. It hurts for you. I hurt for you, my friend. I do. My gosh. This is going to be a little bit harder for me to answer. Only because I've felt that. Honey, bless your heart, and not in a cute way, okay? Not in the southern snarky way. In the way that means I see you. I see how long you've been carrying this, okay? I mean, it's in every word. How quiet the ache has become. how heavy it feels, even when you're doing everything in your power to keep moving like nothing's wrong. There is a specific kind of heartbreak in what you just described, and it is one of the loneliest kinds. It's the kind that doesn't get casseroles or condolences, you know? I'm sorry, I got a hair in my face. Or phone calls checking in. It's the kind you grief in silence, okay? Because the world doesn't recognize it as a loss, but your heart does. And I want you to hear me now, okay? What you're feeling is real, it's valid, and it's not foolish. Losing someone who is still alive is a grief nobody prepares you for. It slips under your skin quietly. It builds slowly, like fog rolling in. You don't notice the heaviness at first, not until you look around one day and realize you can't see the parts of your life that used to feel clear. You lose not just the person, okay, but the version of yourself that existed when they were still in your world. That is why it hurts so deeply. That is why it lingers. Now, let me tell you something important, okay? When someone fades out of your life without explanation, without honesty, without closure, it creates an emotional wound that doesn't bleed, it bruises. It sits under the surface where no one else can see it. And the hardest part is that it doesn't shock you the way a clean break does, okay? Loud endings trigger healing. Quiet endings confuse it. You keep trying to figure out where things changed, what you missed, what you could have done or said differently. You replay moments trying to spot the exact place where the thread snapped. But, sweetheart, sometimes there isn't a snap. Sometimes the thread was fraying long before you ever noticed. And sometimes the other person was already letting go while you were still holding on with both hands. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you loyal. It makes you loving. And it makes you someone who gives people time and grace and patience. Something this world is starving for. You know it is. What hurts you so deeply right now, it isn't that they left, okay? It's that you stayed in the space where you weren't being met. You stayed with hope. You stayed with belief. You stayed with the version of them who existed before they drifted, okay? You stayed because you valued the connection in a way they no longer did. And that doesn't make you naive. It makes you human. Let me shift. I want to try and shift your perspective for a moment, okay? When someone stops showing up, stops reaching out, stops choosing you, it doesn't mean you weren't worth choosing. It means they didn't have the capacity, the communication skills, or the emotional maturity to close a chapter properly. And that is a reflection of them, not you. Definitely not you. People who drift without a word often avoid discomfort, even at the cost of someone else's heart. They convince themselves that silence is kinder than honesty, but silence is its own kind of cruelty. It leaves the other person holding a story they didn't write, trying to interpret pages that were never finished. You said the part that hurts most is that you stayed. Baby, let me tell you something that's also true. Staying was not the mistake. What broke you wasn't your loyalty, it was their absence. What exhausted you wasn't your effort, it was their withdrawal. You cannot be faulted for showing up in a space where someone used to meet you, okay? Humans cling to patterns. We cling to memories. We cling to people who once made us feel seen. You aren't holding on to a fantasy, okay? You are holding on to the history the two of you built. That is not weakness. That is love, even in its most painful form. Here's the shift that begins your healing, though. You're not standing in an empty space because the relationship failed you, okay? You're standing there because you outgrew someone who stopped growing with you. What feels like abandonment is often just misalignment. Your spirit kept moving forward, theirs didn't. And I know the hardest part is letting go, not the dramatic letting go people love to talk about, but the quiet kind, the kind where there's nothing left to say. No final fight, no final moment to point back and say, that's when it ended. Okay. The quiet letting go is brutal because it asks you to grieve a person who didn't give you permission to grieve them. It's asking you to accept an ending that never got its closing scene. Listen, you deserve a love in friendship, in relationships, in every connection that does not make you chase it down the hallway hoping it'll turn around. You deserve people who don't make you question your value when their attention shifts. You deserve closure and clarity and honesty and to be reciprocated. And while you may not get closure from them, you can claim your closure for yourself. You don't need anybody to give that to you. Here's how that begins. You stop interpreting their silence as something you caused. Stop taking their distance as a measure of your worth. You stop waiting for someone who has already emotionally checked out. And you start recognizing that sometimes the ending is not something you should fix, but something you should release. And release is not forgetting. Release is acceptance. It's peace. It's saying, I loved you. I valued you. I hoped for more. But I deserve someone who doesn't disappear when life gets heavy. You're not standing in an empty space because you were left behind. You're standing in that space because that is where your healing begins. You are not alone while you walk through this next part either. Okay, not here, not in this space, not on this road. You're grieving something real and you're allowed to, most definitely allowed to, but you're also growing something new and you're ready. You're most definitely ready. You got this. You got this. Man, before, oh, honey, you got this. You know what? Y'all say it in the comments. Tell her she got this. Okay. Tell her she got this because you're right there on it. It's one thing that's holding you back. It's like this little bitty gossamer string that's just barely got a hold of your shirt. And you're so afraid to walk away because then it's going to unravel the whole thing. Honey, sometimes fixing things means unraveling it. You can't rearrange a room without making a mess, okay? You just can't. Sometimes you have to get the mess out of the way first. Can't clean a mess until the mess is made. And it sounds to me like they made their own mess. So you just pick up yours along with your dignity, along with your incredibly full and deserving heart. And you find yourself the person that deserves you because that's what you need to find. Okay. Someone who knows your worth. And let me tell you this too. Take you a minute before you find that person and discover your worth again, because I think maybe you've lost sight of that too. You're worth way much more than that. You're worth more than a quiet goodbye. Okay. All right. Whew. Before we wrap everything up today, I want to take a minute, talk to y'all about what's happening across the BBTV and Iron Sharpening Iron universe. Because if you've been here long enough, you already know this show isn't just random hour, okay? We throw it together, we grow it together, and we shine it together, okay? This is a whole community that stretches far beyond Mondays. Every single one of you is a part of it. Now, I'm going to be honest. Mondays are wild, right? The petty comes out, the stories get heated, and the emotional chaos is strong. But the beautiful part is that this is just one flavor of what we do. If today's episode had you laughing, nodding, sighing, or thinking, Lord, somebody needed to hear this, then trust me, this is a whole lot more where that came from, okay? Because we have so many beautiful spinoffs. And let me tell you, if you need to be uplifted, if you need to laugh, if you need to cry, whatever you need, you'll find it right here with BBTV and the Iron Sharpening Iron universe. Big Jack is doing big things and he is taking huge strides. And I am so very thankful and glad that I am right beside him and we are doing this together because you know what? We've got this amazing team. Walt Talks, Mama Lions, Big Jack, me, and we are trying to bring in some more. So y'all send us an email, okay? That's running across the bottom there. I need y'all to send us an email. If you want to be on a panel, if you want to send in a letter, it's okay if you want to be anonymous. We read the letters. That's it. Me, Big Jack. That's it. Mama Lions, she reads hers too. That's it. Okay? And if you send them to us personally, we will make sure if you didn't get it to the right address, we'll get it to the other address. And there's no judgment here, okay? Understand that first and foremost, in this universe, there is no judgment. And you can come here. We are here for you. All right? Now, I do want to shout out the rest of the shows my show here in BBTV with Ask Bay. I need to sit up taller so you can see my face. Or shink. Hi. Okay, yeah, I'm silly today. But Ask a Bee, Monday through Friday. Okay, Friday is our Circle Back Friday. That's where we read a second letter. If we've gotten an email and we've already read it on here, sometimes we do get a second email telling us, hey, that worked perfectly, or hey, you know what? That didn't work at all. And we're okay with that because we're here to walk through it with you. Okay. Now, definitely get back here tomorrow at 12 noon and we'll have some fun, y'all. We always have fun on here, don't we? All right. I may have officially made it through Monday, Petty Monday again. And honestly, if nobody has told you yet, let me be the first one to say, you did amazing today. Because surviving a Monday takes skill. It takes grit. It takes emotional armor and at least one deep breath you didn't think you had left. And if you hung out with me all the way to the end of this show, y'all, that makes my spirit just soar. And even if your patience is on life support, that's the kind of support you need, right? So today we laughed, we dragged, we blessed hearts that needed more than one blessing. And we walked down a gravel road. And that reminded us community matters, you guys. It really does. Y'all take care of yourselves. I had a wonderful time with this first one today. That was a great story. I love you. Bye.